Hello gang, Merlin Don on the mic. Today we'll talk about a leader that draws many cards. We'll talk about a leader that can become a 7k leader on your opponent's attack for the whole turn, right? We'll talk about a leader that many people hated when it was mono blue leader, right? And this is not other than Nami, Straw Hat Crew leader. This time is a Blue Yellow leader with 4 life, 5k attack power. On your turn, this effect can be activated when a card is removed from your or your opponent's life cards. So first effect is when you lose a life, or when your opponent loses a life, then if you have 7 or less cards, you draw 1 card. And this is also when you play cards, you will not have more than 7 cards most of the time. So it's like, you can think about it like the Boa Hancock effect, but not while you remove something from the board, rather than when someone loses a life. And the other one is if you have already attached one Don to this leader, on your opponent's turn, when he attacks, you can trash 1 card from your hand. And remember, we draw too many cards, right? So we can't trash cards. We are not like Blackbeard. And you can trash 1 card that you don't need, and this leader gains plus 2k power during the whole turn. So you have a 7k leader, right? And it's crazy. So this leader needs some support, and he will get it. So let's say Nami, C here. So she will get that support. I have the feeling that she will get that support in the upcoming sets. But for now, it's like it's a strong deck. It's not that strong as other decks, but you can see this leader maybe also in the top 8, top 4. We could see many surprises, because many people underestimate this leader. Don't get me wrong, it's not the tier 0 deck, right? But it can go like really high. Do you remember in London, in the previous set, where Lim went 15-0 and won every single deck, every other single deck? Before that, everyone was making like tier lists and had the Lim like in tier 2-1, right? And then suddenly it was like almost a tier 0 deck, right? That's exactly the same thing with Nami. Nami needs exploration. Nami needs some games. Nami needs also the West to play her. And I really strongly believe that we will see many Nami players topping events, or end up in the top positions, let's say. So enough with that, let's go to the guide. First the guide that I have created for you guys, and then we will check the deck list and some games. So we talked about what this leader does. When you draw the first cards, you want to mulligan for these here. You want to find your Law, because you want to play some small characters. You want to find your Cavendish that you will establish at 4 Dawn, and then you do exactly the same what you do when you play Usopp. So you draw 2 cards and trash 1 card from your hand each time that you attack with this character. You're gonna find your Jozu, then you can return, for example, a Law or another character to your hand, and a 6 or lower character to your opponent's hand. Now this is, let's say, how you play your cards. Between 1 and 3 Dawns, you will have your blockers and Nojiko. We'll talk about Nojiko later. Between 4 and 6 Dawns, we have a plethora of cards. We have 4Ks, we have 6Ks, so we do have things to play. Between 7 and 8 Dawn, you have your Kid, you have your Luffy, you have your Oden. We have a really strong cards for the 7 and 8 on curve, and your finishers, that's the Oden, which you can, by the way, restand, and the Luffy, the Monkey D. Luffy, who has Rush, and also if you can trash one card from your hand and then you return one character with a cost 4 or less to the owner's hand. And not only that, then you give up to an rested on to your leader or character. So it's a really strong card. Rush, you return one 4 cost or less, so you can imagine that your opponent has, let's say, a blocker, a small blocker, right? So you just return that blocker to your opponent's hand and you literally ignore that, right? Because there's no blocker anymore. And then you attack also with him. And you get to attach one rested on to a character or your leader. Crazy sick card there. And of course the Oden that you just restand him, right? With the activate main if you rest 3 dons and you return one of your other cards to your hand. To defend yourselves, we have blockers, we have Law, Vista and Nami. We have of course our leader's ability, don't forget about that. We do have Zeus 2k, we have Hiyori 2k, and we also play 2 copies of the You Are the One Who Disappear. Why? Because if we have Hiyori and this one in our hand, we can literally become a 5 life leader. Why? Because we put that with Hiyori as our last life. Then we're NL, right? And not everyone will expect that. So, combinations. You play your Josu, you return one of these cards in your hand, and then you return also a 6 cost or less from your opponent's board to his hand. Exactly the same with Oden. Oden needs you also to return one small character in order to activate his ability. And Hiyori, of course, with Hiyori we can plan 0 cost event, we can plan a Kikonoju, we can plan a Gravity Blade or a Red Rock to our life, right? So about the curve, that's the odd curve. Your preferred curve is the second curve. But let's talk about the odd curve. Or you know what? Let's talk about the even curve, because we prefer to go even. Why? Because we start with a blocker, then we can play on curve our 4 cost characters, let's say a Kikunozu or a Cavendish. Then at 6 dons we have many possibilities. If our opponent has, let's say, 8 cards, right? Or even 7 cards, we can play our Pudding and also return one of his cards. Or you can play first your Nojiko. Let me show you. So Nojiko, if your leader is Nami, which is, return up to one of your opponent characters with cost 5 or less to its owner hand. So best case scenario, let's say that your opponent has let's say he has 7 cards, or even 6, right? Let's go back to the guide. Let's say that he has 7 cards, and you attack his life. If he's at 5, he will most likely take that hit. He will go at 8, right? Then you play Nojiko. You return one of the one card that he has already played, one card that's on the board, right? To his hand. Now he has 9 cards and he can do nothing about it. 9 cards. And then you play your Pudding and you return 4 of these cards back to his deck. And of course he will take 5 new cards, right? So this combination here is really nasty, guys. It's really nasty. And then of course we have as another option Josu or Nico Robin. I think we play 1 copy of Nico Robin because exactly because of that. Because if you can activate the on play effect, it's so strong on curve. At 8 don we can play our Oden, and then we have 1 don we attach one don to our leader to have our leader's ability ready, and then at 10 don we have our 2 finishers. So use as Captain Kid to start burning the life of our opponent and Monkey D. Luffy to finish him off. So this is your perfect curve. As a node curve, if you go first, you start with a low, then at 3 don you play another low or a vista, or if your opponent has something that you really wanna send away, you play Nojiko. At 5 don we play one of our 4 cost characters and we have 1 don open for our leader. Let's put it also that way. Then in our 7 don, again the same, we play one of our 6 cost and we have 1 don for our leader. 9 don we play one of these and we have 1 don of our leader. 10 don, again one of these, 1 don for our leader's effect. So this is how you play this leader. Let's see now, let's talk about the Decklist and then we will check 3 games. So we play Nojiko. We talked about Nojiko, we return 1 5 cost or less to the owner's hand. Is it a blocker, is it something else, we don't care. Putting one of the strongest cards, especially if you play also against decks like Blue Luffy, who draws cards like crazy. Josu, you give them cards back to their hand, and don't forget he's a 6 cost, Pudding is a 4 cost. You can also do the combo here, right? Cavendish draws you cards. Nami, it's a blocker, and you can also draw 1 extra card and also place them at the top or bottom. You will know that if you need them or not. Our Monkey D. Luffy, our finisher, our low blocker, our Vista blocker, our Oden. Let's talk about the other ability of Oden. If this character would be removed from the field by your opponent effects, so this is if you play against black deck, for example, or another blue deck that wants to red rock him, right? So you may instead trust 2 cards from your hand. You have also this possibility. If you want to go for game next turn with this character and they try to remove him with effects, you will say no. Here, take two of my cards and I will finish you off on your next turn with my Oden. And of course, activate main, you may rest 3 of your Dawn. So you rest 3 of your Dawn, you return 1 of your other characters to your hand, and then you set this card as active. So keep in mind, in order to activate this ability, you don't just need the 3 Dawns, you also need to return something to your hand. That's why we play 5 1 cost characters and 4 2 cost characters, right? We can also add some 1 cost Vista here as well if we see that we need them. Then we have Kikunoju. On KO is perfect. If your opponent's life is 3 or less, you heal yourself. And of course the trigger is crazy because if your opponent has 3 or less life, you just play this card. Hiyori, a 2k, and you can place anything that you want to your life. Robin, you trash 1 card of your opponent's if he has 3 or more life cards. Use Captain Kid, the same as Robin, and of course you recycle 1 card in every single turn. Zeus, 2k, and you also take 1 life and you KO something from your opponent with 5 cost or less. Red Rock, we bottom deck anything of the game, and Gravity Blade, Raging Tiger, we place 2 6 cost or less in the bottom of the deck of our opponents, right? And the 0 cost event, we become NL if that's the last life, or last life. If not, then we can just discard a brick card and get plus 3k power for this battle. So let's say some games that I have prepared for you guys. We will set up the speed to 2+. First, it's against Koby. Koby is really great against decks that KO or bottom deck things because of his ability, and we will see how this deck goes against the Koby. So we play our Vista because he chose to go second, excuse me, and he plays Branium. Now he attacks us here. First he attacks with 5k, we give him a Nami, and then he plays a Kuzan, and he starts placing cards in his trust, right? So now we have 2 Nojikos. We have 2 Nojikos, and I know for a fact that he has 5 cards, I think exactly 5 cards in his trust. So I play 2 Nojikos, and I give him the Kuzan back to his hand, and we have placed 2 Nojikos here. So we have bought us, let's say, some time here. We attack him at 8 here. We are low on cards, but we can start drawing cards if he or we lose life. And we do have a Cavendish in our field. We do have a Red Rock, and with a Red Rock we can also bottom deck his Koby, because he can protect characters of 7k attack power or less. So now the Kuzan attacks us and we take. Then he attacks our active character, so he attacks our Cavendish here with 8 to 6, and we give him 2 cards, and then he goes for life, and we take. We're down to 2. Now we have an Odin, now we have a Zeus, a Red Rock, and our opponent is also at 4 cards. So first things first, we attack with our Cavendish, of course, to recycle some cards. Then we use our action because he took his life, so we draw an extra card. So as you can see, we were down to 3 cards, right? We were down to 3 cards. We draw 1 card from our turn. Then we draw 1 card from Cavendish, and we draw 1 card from Nami's effect when we destroy 1 life of our opponents. So immediately, instead of having 3 cards, we have 6 cards. This is how strong this leader is in terms of how he draws cards. So we have 2 Red Rocks, and we play our Odin here. And of course we also replace 1 Nojiko for another blocker. Now we have 2 blockers, we have 2 life, we have 2 2Ks in our hand, and an Odin ready to start killing our opponents or hitting our opponent with like crazy, right? Because you can see we have a Nojiko which we can return in our hand, for example, with our Odin. And here he goes like again 8 to 6, we give him 1 blocker. And he goes again 8 to 6, we give him another blocker. Then he goes 7 to 6, we give him 1 2k. And we save our Odin, and we draw another 1k. So now we first start with a 7k to his leader. He goes down to 1. We draw 1 card, of course, because he lost this life, and now we drew a kid, and the kid here is even better because we can recycle 1 card, we can trash his last life, and then we still have the Odin, right? So we go 8, he takes, and at this point of the game it's like, okay, we will go 7 with our Nojiko and play another blocker. So we have like 2 big characters, or 1 big character, 1 okay character, 1 blocker, 2 life, and 4 cards here. He goes and kills our blockers. And let's say what he can do here. So he plays a Koby. And he goes 9 to 8, but he doesn't have any blockers at this point, right? So we make our leader a 7k leader, and now of course what we can do is, let's see, I don't quite remember, to be honest. So we draw an Odin, we bottom deck his Koby and we go all into his life. So he gives us his last blocker, and now we have 2 life. We have 2 cards. So he goes 7 to 5. We give him, so we activate our leader's ability and we give him 1k, and now we have a 7k leader for the rest of the turn. Then he goes 7 again. We take. We don't want to show him that we do have counter in our hand. Then he goes 7 again. This is what we counter, guys. We counter that, right? And now no matter what he does, he can't pull that through. So we play Kikunotsu also, and then we win, because even if he plays now his Borsalino, we have 2 characters. We have 1 character, excuse me, and 1 leader, so we have 2 attacks, right? So we win the game. But you saw in this last turn how our leader's ability literally saved for us, right? So the next game is against the new Portugal State or Newgate leader that is coming up this week also. He chose to go first, we go second, he plays his Izo, and we have one of the best combinations ever. We have our blocker, we have our Robin, and we have our Kid. So it's like crazy, what he does. So 7k we take, and now we are at 4 dawn. We will first attack him with 5k, and he will take. So we will use our card action and grab another card, another Kid, which is great. Now we will play our Cavendish here. So he has like now 2 blockers, 4 dawns, and he will go 9 to our life. We will give him 1 blocker. Now we will play our Robin on curve, and we trash 1 of his lives. Then we attack with our Cavendish, and we get to draw yet another card. Then another attack. He gives us a blocker. We have like 1,000 cards in our hand, which is crazy. And he plays yet another blocker, and he goes 9 to our Cavendish. Of course, we will give him 2 2Ks. We have more than enough cards. Then we will play a Kid, and we will trust another card, and we will draw a last Kid here, guys. So even if he didn't take this, we could also go like Kid for his last life. So, and we recycle, of course, and we recycle 1 Kid. Why? Because we have another Kid in our hand. And here, let me show that one more time for you guys. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't do anything, and we had another Kid here to trust his last life. We were healthy. We had like 1,000 cards in our hand. He could do literally nothing. Maybe he could play instead of this red rock to bottom deck 1 of our Kids. He could play this pudding, but if he played the pudding, then he wouldn't be able to bottom deck 1 of our Kids, and then we would have like a full board ready to go for his life on the next turn. So we were just too much for him, right? Too much. And let's see, the last game is against an up Luffy. And then we will go first here. So he chooses to go second, which I understand, and we go first. We don't have anything to play on our first turn, which sucks, so we will go all in our second turn and take 1 of his lives. And now we have here 2 Kids, which is awesome when you play against up Luffy. Why? Because of course we will be able to burn his life down, right? So he goes 7 to our leader, and we give him 2 cards. We give him 2 cards because we want to be able to draw cards from our ability, leader's ability, right? Then we play a Cavendish, and we hit him with 6k. He gives us 1 pudding. And of course now we can still use our leader's ability if we want to, but we grab one card from our life. We have now 2 cases, and one of them is Hiyori, and we have the 0 cost event, so we have the combination to make ourselves NL also, right? So now we will go 8 with this Cavendish, see if he is gonna give us one life, and he does. And we have again we have like 1,000 cards in our hand. Now he has 7 cards, and now I will go 10 to his life, and he gives us 3 cards. We could also play here putting, but I wasn't up to it, so I give him now 1k, and he plays of course Lin and Sanji, and he gives us 1 life. He heals us here, which is not bad. We attack him with 6, he takes, and this is a mistake. Why? Because now we can play our Kid, use as Captain Kid, and burn his last life. Burn his last life, and as you can see we have like 1,000 cards in our hand, and we have a big character on the field, and we are healthy. So now we recycle a Josu, we can defend this Kid. He attacks him with a 9k, which we don't really care because we have the cards to defend it, right? And he plays yet another Lin. And guess what, guys? Guess what? We have yet another Eustace Captain Kid to trust his last life. And this is exactly what we do here. And we win the game. Why? Because we go 6, and then we go 9. Then we are still healthy, so we don't lose this turn. We would also grab a Rush Luffy from our life, and then we would have gone for game. Anyway, so guys, this was the guide about this leader. I wanna hear what you think about it. What are your thoughts? Me personally, I do have a feeling that this is a strong leader. This is a strong leader in this set, and like always here in the West, we explore many ways to make like a mediocre leader perform way better than our friends in Asia. But we will see, maybe I'm wrong, but maybe I'm also right. We will see the upcoming weeks how this leader performs. Let me know what you think about this deck list. What would you keep? What would you change here? If you have also tried something on your own, and you could say, okay, this works for me. I'm really curious about it. And yeah, thank you all for watching, guys.